Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Matt Bernier. We're going to kick off the 50-cent, $300,000 guaranteed pick 5 at Pimlico on Friday with race number 7. It's the Grade 3 Miss Preakness Stakes for 3-year-old filly sprinters. You can bet this pick 5. You can bet the Preakness with great deals all weekend long on DRF bets, including betting the Preakness with free cash. You get a $100 deposit match bonus when you sign up for a new account at drf.com/bet. Let's take a look at the field for race number 7 at Pimlico on Friday. It is the Grade 3 Miss Preakness Stakes. And Matt, we expect a lot of speed in this race. We've seen pace meltdowns in this race before.
Yeah, I have to be honest with you, Dan. I was just thinking back to it, and I didn't do any sort of research, but it just feels here this Miss Preakness features just an unbelievable pace early on, and sometimes it holds up and sometimes it completely falls apart. It doesn't look like it's going to be any different this year. I suppose the wrinkle this year is you got to factor in the weather, but it looks like there is plenty of speed signed on.
One of the horses that figures to be forwardly placed, that's your morning line favorite, the undefeated number 9, Good Move, who has yet to be headed in 2 starts for trainer Brad Cox. Plus, this horse won her career debut over a good track, which perhaps bodes well. We're expecting a lot of wet weather at Pimlico this weekend. The problem is, and we've had some great reporting from all of our DRF reporters on the scene this week, Good Move missed a lot of time after her last race battling some quarter crack issues. How much does that bother you, if at all?
Yeah, you gotta factor it in a little bit. I mean, you've got that giant gap between March 25th and April 18th, but I do like the fact that she has ripped off 4 consecutive works, and the most recent one was a bullet in 58-4. So I feel like that's not going to be the excuse. If she's not good enough or she doesn't handle the wet track, that's probably why. It won't be because of the quarter crack.
We know she'll be close to the pace. The Timeform U.S. pace projector, though, expects this race will have hot fractions. Fast pace expected. The 3 Artistic Diva, like the number 9 Good Move, undefeated in her career for John Sadler, but we haven't seen her in a very long time. Supposedly she was ready to run a couple of weeks ago. She had an infected hock. She missed a little bit of time. I thought she was really impressive in her dirt debut on October the 22nd, but I have to be honest with you. At a relatively short price, off a long layoff, having to duel with the 9, I'm worried.
There are a lot of things going against her. I agree with you. I think both of her starts as a 2-year-old are both very good. The turf start and the debut, as well as the dirt start. The concern is that long layoff, the pace situation, and this may be the one that's a little bit more concerning. We talked about the layoff for Good Move. The layoff for this horse, Artistic Diva, it makes you wonder if she was ready to go for something else. Clearly that, things didn't work out. Now you're coming across country, and you're probably catching a wet track for the first time, and there's other speed. To me, there's just a lot going against her.
Wet track could be the biggest question mark for the number 1, Happy Like a Fool. I like her running style. She is tactical. The inside post, never easy, but it's good to know that she can sit off horses and come with a finish. She had a tough spot in her first race this year, the Grade 3 Beaumont against Gas Station Sushi. That one came back to run 3rd in the 8 Bells with an 83 buyer, but this has been a Wesley Ward move for a long time. Here's the formulator fact for Happy Like a Fool. Past 3 years, 3-year-old dirt sprinters making the second start off the layoff line, 10 for 28 with a $2.62 ROI. Happy Like a Fool has shown some ability. She beat the solid Take Charge Paula last year.
I liked her in the Beaumont, and I thought she was just a little bit flat, and understandably so. There were some good horses with a little bit more recency in there. The race has come back a little bit hit or miss. Gas Station Sushi an 83 in the next start. Kelly's Humor a 75 in the next start. Certainly going to need to move up into the mid-80 range if you're going to have any chance in a race like this. I would imagine with that formulator fact, I think you've got some positive moves. The distorted humors, as far as the wet track is concerned, that doesn't bother me.
The trainer Jeremiah Engelhardt has 2 intriguing entrants in this year's Grade 3 Miss Preakness. Let's begin with the number 4, Perfect Miss. I was very impressed with Perfect Miss's maiden win at Saratoga, up close to the pace, finishing strong to beat Legendary, a horse that we'll get to in a little bit. Kind of thrown to the wolves in the Grade 1 Frizette. She caught a wet track. She was close to a solid pace. We know that Frizette race was live. It produced Breeders' Cup winner Caledonia Road.
Yeah, and Perfect Miss is an interesting candidate in here because you consider the long layoff. You don't know what you're going to get. But as opposed to some of the other horses that we've already touched on coming off of layoffs, Perfect Miss is probably going to be a good number in here. And you know that she can run a little bit. She has some versatility. If you get north of that 12-1, I think she's an interesting candidate.
Engelhart also has the 3-time winner, the number 7, I Still Miss You. Interesting spot off the layoff. You usually don't think of Jeremiah Engelhart's runners on turf. This filly came back in a turf stakes race. She showed some speed. She tired. I think it was a prep race for this to get her back onto the dirt. The question is she good enough? She's a New York bred. Yes, she is an open stakes winner, but that was the Astoria way back in June of 2017 as a 2-year-old.
Yeah, from a figure standpoint, I don't know what we're going to get out of her because it doesn't look like she's taken any sort of step forward, and she's got a bit of racing under her belt now. She's gone out 7 times. How much of an improvement can you expect? I suppose if you're going to get it, this is the race where you will get it because second off the bench, off of a long layoff, she should move forward. But at the end of the day, I don't know if you're going to get a 10 or 15-point improvement.
Blinkers have really moved up to number 6. Legendary, no match for Preakness in her career debut, but in her last 2 starts with blinkers for Rudy Rodriguez, she has reeled off wins, buyers of 80 and 85 respectively. I thought she kind of took advantage of a nice slow pace last time out in the Cicada, and if Timeform US is correct, she might have to do it a different way, coming from slightly off of the pace. Rudy Rodriguez, look at this formulator fact over the past year. Last out winning 3-year-old dirt sprinters off a 45 to 60-day layoff. He's won 4 of 5 with an $8.44 ROI. She feels pretty in blinkers.
It's going to be interesting to see what you get from a price standpoint for this horse, because if she goes off as one of the choices, I don't know if I love her. If she floats up from the 4-1 in that 6 or 7-1 range, how can you argue with a horse highest last out buyer in the field, one of the best Timeform US ratings? I agree with you, though. Timeform US also supports what your thought is, that she kind of took advantage of a slow pace in the Cicada. I don't think there was much as far as a field in there. Shamrock Rose is 74 in the next out. Gibby on turf with a 62. I think Legendary, let the tote board be your guide here. If she goes and floats up from there, I'd take a shot. If she stays in that 4 or comes down from there, I'd pass.
Congratulations to Edgar Prado. The great one got his 7,000th win earlier in the week, and he's going to ride the number 10 Limited View for John Salzman. This horse was in tough last time out against the older horses, Shalone and Karen, and she just didn't fire. Her race 2 starts back. A mile is just a little bit long for her. She got really tired in the stretch that day. She is an okay sprinter with a nice outside post and a versatile running style. She may not be fast enough to win, but at a price, I can see her in the mix somewhere.
Especially if this thing heats up like the pace projector thinks. If she comes from rolling out of it on that outside post, there's no reason to think she can't get a piece. I don't know if she's good enough to win, but she may have everything work in her advantage and in her favor this time around.
The 5 buy, sell, hold was just put in a tough spot off a long layoff last time out against Mia Mischief, who just aired in the Purple Martin and then came back to pop a 97 buyer in the 8 Bells Stakes. Let's not hold buy, sell, or holds 14-length defeat against her last time out. Her race before that on the turf, we really don't want to hold against her as well. She's kind of unexposed. She's a big price for Steve Asmussen. I'm just not sure how good she is.
Yeah, and I don't really know if anybody can sit there and tell you definitively if they think that she's good or not, because like you say, you kind of have excuses for the past 2 starts, and then prior to that, you're left with the Schuylerville as a 2-year-old in July up at Saratoga. So I don't know. I have to be honest, to me, she's kind of the unknown in this spot. If you don't like anybody else and you want to take a shot, you're going to get a good number on her. And clearly, this is a pretty confident move that Asmussen's going to run her here in a spot like this.
Big step up in class for the 2. Bootsy's had enough. One of the original Bootsy's. Winner last time out, coming from way off the pace at Keeneland. Timeform US indicates that pace should have been right up her alley to pop the upset, and she is taking a step up in class.
From a speed figure standpoint, she's just too slow right now. But again, if you think that things are going to heat up and she can sit 2 or 3 off of it, get the jump on the closers, perhaps a minor reward.
We landed on the same horse in here as we take a look at our top pick for the Miss Preakness, and that's the number 8, Illman Roca. This horse ran on turf last time out, and I certainly understand why. She looked good winning her turf, first-time turf race, her maiden race in her second lifetime start. I think that mile and a 16th was a little far. I like her cutting back to 7 furlongs. Speightstown, they are very good on wet tracks.
Yeah, I'm not concerned about the wet surface. Graham Ocean has talked highly about this filly for quite some time. I think this is probably what she wants to do. I think she's probably going to be a dirt sprinter. And you know what? I shouldn't even say that. She might be a turf sprinter as well. I think the talent is there. I think she could get a very good pace situation in a race like this. The wet track, you brought up the Speightstown. They just absolutely love the mud. She's got a big, and she might be
5-1 on the morning line for the 8 Illman Roke, and I like to race in the Gasparilla 2 starts back. I thought the inside was very good at Tampa Bay that day. A long shot pace center went out there on the lead. Illman Roca was chasing outside, and Illman Roca had to work to get that horse, who was really benefited, I think, by being down on the rail. I like the turn back. I like that she can come from off of the pace, and as you say, she's going to get a fast track. Give me numbers again.
I'm going to go 8, 9, 1, and 3.
8, 6, 9 for me. In race number 7, the Grade 3 Miss Preakness, kicking off the $300,000 guaranteed 50-cent pick 5 on Friday. Again, you can make that bet with your new DRF Bets account, and you can bet the Preakness with free cash as well. A $100 deposit match bonus is waiting for you at drf.com/bet. Approximate post time for the Miss Preakness, race number 7, 2:39 Eastern. Best of luck.